The best way for a job seeker to get on my radar is to be persistent. Most of what I'm doing is hiring for account executives. So these are salespeople. These are salespeople who are going to have to not only persuade people to do things, but also get on their radar. So the first sale that you're making is the sale that you're making to get the appointment, the interview with me.
We tell everybody obviously to apply on the website, but then you go into a pile of hundreds and hundreds of resumes, and it's hard to stand out if you don't have experience. But if you've made a phone call and I've gotten to know you because I answered the phone or you sent me an email, then at least you have one up on somebody else.
Well, it's important to get noticed so that you stand out from the other candidates. The most extreme effort I ever had was a man in Atlanta who wanted to be my assistant news director. We put an ad in the trade publications, and he sent into our newsroom a belly dancer who sang his letter to me about why he wanted to be our assistant news director. He didn't get the job, but he might have gotten the job if we'd been looking for a marketing director. So it's all about pressing the right buttons and the right levers. He could have sent me cookies. Cookies might have worked.
First of all, you have to be persistent, pleasant and persistent, which is a fine line because you don't want to be stalker-esque. But there's a lot of noise, right? We get so many emails, so many phone calls. How do you stand out? So do your homework, be prepared. Actually, look at our website, look at our social media sites, look at my LinkedIn, and be clever. Send an email and actually leave a voicemail as well too, because so few people actually call, and I love being able to hear someone's voice, and it stands out and it humanizes the person too and lets their personality come through.
I've had people that have applied for a job at Live 105 that have no idea what the radio station. It's like, it can't be a homogenized generic approach. You have to treat it like it's like the most important thing in the world, that one radio station or that one job you're applying for, you know.
Oh, hi, I didn't recognize you. You know, radio's great. You know, you're probably in college thinking to yourself, oh man, I'm gonna eat ramen for the rest of my life. And then you get out and you get a real job and you get into better foods. But if you like ramen, stick with radio, because boy, oh boy, you eat ramen for a while.
It's amazing to me how people will come in here and talk about being prepared, and they might write a great email, a great voice when they come in, and it's clear they've never even turned on 740 or 1069. That would be critical. I mean, radio, it's not hard to do your homework in radio because you can do it on your way, literally on your way to the interview.
The first thing is to ask yourself a question, which is, how bad do you want it? Do you really want to be in radio or television or the entertainment business or the digital world? How badly do you want it? Do you want it badly enough to go to Alaska, to go to Louisiana, to go wherever a job is that doesn't pay very much? Are you willing to do that, or do you want to stay within 5 miles of your girlfriend, your parents, your brother? There's nothing wrong with that, but there are a lot of other people you're going to be competing with who will go anywhere at any time for the right job. And the job you're really looking for is the one that'll let you do everything badly for a long time without firing you, so that you get really good enough to work wherever you want to.
So we found the job posting, found my name and phone number, called me, left me like 3 or 4 messages. I hadn't had the chance to call him back yet. He showed up downstairs with the security guard with an envelope with his resume, with a handwritten note, and said he really wanted to have an interview. And so that showed me great persistence. And so I called him back, and I actually ended up hiring him. And so he worked for us for years, and now is a successful person in this industry.
The most important thing too is you have to follow up, because I'm hiring for salespeople, so the minute they reach out to me, I'm looking at everything they do. So do they leave a succinct voicemail? Do they leave a nice, clever, succinct email? Do they follow up? How do they break through the noise? Because that's an important part of their job.
The other thing that is maybe a pet peeve for me is when you're given the opportunity to ask questions and to look for more insight as to what the opportunity is about, and someone tells you, I don't have any questions. Then to me that's just telling me you're not interested enough, or that you didn't do enough research, or that you didn't come prepared for this opportunity that you've been given.
The first time that I really wanted to get on the radio, and I would pretty much do anything to get on the air, so I waited outside of a station that was nearby my college, and I just waited for the nicest car to pull up, and I figured that whoever was driving that car was really important. At the time, I thought a Dodge Neon was a nice car, so I made a mistake. But then I saw a Jaguar pull up, and I went right up to the guy, and he's like, no, you don't need to wash my windows. And I said, aha, I'm not that talented. I want to be in radio. And I talked to the guy, I made him laugh, and he said, give me your number, we'll call you if there's anything. And 2 weeks later, I got a phone call. And I got my first job hosting nights on the radio.
It's important to have a goal. Like for me, when I started out, I wanted to be music director of Live 105. But I took this crazy route where I was driving the van and I was producing a show and answering the phones, and I would do whatever. You hear that cliche, do whatever it takes to get your foot in the door. And I did that. Who cares? Just get your foot in the door and work, be communicative and be somewhat transparent, but also explain that, look, that's what I want down the road, but I will do whatever it takes to get there.
And I think if you really want to work in radio, it's best to move to a smaller market. You can start big, and certainly we hire college graduates all the time. And if you're, living in a large market and that's where you want to break in, I encourage you to try, and you may or may not be successful. Much easier in a smaller market. If you're going to start here right out of college, chances are it's going to be in an administrative role, whereas you could probably, at least on the sales side, find a way to elevate pretty quickly in a smaller market. So I would encourage you to be open-minded if you really want to work in this industry about relocating.
And you have to want it, and it's just that passion, that fire, and I've seen that with a lot of our young DJs. Danica is a great example of an intern, and she started as an intern. She's from my Chabot College program in Hayward, and she worked her butt off and did everything she could to get her foot in the door and be visible and contribute, and just had a great attitude, and she's so affable and a lifestylist. She's in a punk band, and she did all these things to the point where we gave her a shot on air, and now she's doing middays on Market Number 4 radio station. But it comes again from that fire inside.
Doug, it's Greg B. Harrell. I gotta tell you, I saw the video that you produced. Snooze fest. No, it is boring, Doug. It's boring. So I mentioned to your assistant that I'd like to spice it up a bit, a little hot sauce. Oh, don't blur my hand. Can we blur my hand?
Yes.
Okay. So I thought I'd add my 2 cents. 2 cents? What'll that buy you in this economy? Comedy. We'll teach that lesson later. Which camera are we going to go on for the...
We just have the one.
It's just the one?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everyone. It's Greg B. Harrell. I know. Sometimes I can't believe it either. Listen, I wanted to give you I want to talk to you about being a good communicator. I don't know how best to say it. How to communicate that you want a job in radio. So please enjoy these helpful tips. So you got a job interview. What now? I'm pulling my hair out. I always do funny stuff like that around the office. Okay, back to the job interview. So get to the job interview late. Stay with me. You show up late. They're thinking, what does this guy have better to do? We got to lock him up. When you get there, mention that you were, just casually, right? Just casually. I was just at the competitor, and they made an offer to me. Because you know what that's going to get you? That's the sign for money. Is that coming through the...
Yes, that's fine.
So then the PD says, well, I don't even know what you sound like. Do you have any demo material? Ba-bam! Hold on. Ba-bam! Cut me to saying just ba-bam, not the mistake. Ba-bam! Ba-bam! Demo tape. Literally. But Greg, advanced technology, why would you use a tape or a CD or MP3? No, use a tape because chances are you're bad on air. This way, they won't have equipment that can play your demo. On the off chance that they do, just make a snide comment like, oh, that's some old equipment. Stop living in the past. Oh, pardon me. Hello? Hey! Just a stupid thing for my boss. Yeah. What are you doing? Oh, right. Who's there? Jeremy. Jam Monster. The Jam Monster. Did he hear me? Well, put me on speaker. Jam Monster. The Jam Monster. Did he hear me? Put me on speaker then. Okay. Okay, bye. Bye, robot. All right, I'll talk to you later. Yeah. Are we still doing that? Well, you know what? That brings up another point. Try to take a call during the interview. The boss thinks he's popular. Get him on my team. Yeah. Look, I agree with some of what the suits said. Do your research, and the most important piece of research you can dig up is the name of the general manager. That way, when you're done the interview with the program director, you can get on the phone with the general manager and express your concerns about the competency of the program director. So then the GM, because they're always clueless, he'll say like, well, I appreciate what you're saying, I'll look into it, and then he'll think of you as the guy who's going to come in and save the station. Look, the thing is, you're going to get asked about your past. We all have a past, right? And we've all committed crime. Lots of it. The trick is to not get caught. And remind your boss that you haven't been caught for any of the illegal activity you've been up to. That way he knows that if the FCC comes knocking and says, you do this, you do that, or whatever, he knows that you won't get caught for any of the bad stuff that you're up to on air. Well, that's the best advice I can offer. And hey, it's like the old saying goes, there are no radio openings in San Francisco, so don't look.